Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, guys. This is Ahmed Samir from AWS Riyadh User Group. We are back to resume our activities in our meetup in Riyadh. Today, we are happy to host Mr. Mohib Khan from AWS, a solution architect from AWS. Let's add Mohib to the stage. Welcome, Mohib. Good evening.
Good evening, Ahmed. How
How
are
are
you
you?
doing?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, good. Thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, everything is okay. We are happy to host you today for this interesting topics. Wish you good luck. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
giving me this opportunity to communicate with the AWS community in Arabic. But yes, I have been born and raised in Saudi Arabia, but I'm not that fluent in Arabic. But yes, this session that we're going to host today would be talking about Amazon Connect, which is our a cloud-based contact solution. And at the same time, we'll be also discussing about the contact center intelligence, where the customers who have existing contact centers from Avaya or Genesys or Zendesk or Salesforce, how they can continue with their existing contact centers and integrate the intelligence part with this. So without further ado, let's start our session for today. So we as AWS, and as an Amazon in general, we have been striving to be the Earth's most customer-centric company, and this is our global objective, our mission. So, being having this objective at the back of our heads, we have been trying to, serve our customers in a very delightful way and make their experience as delightful as we can. So Amazon.com, the retail site, not the AWS, but the retail site, has, as you know, I'm sure you all would have used one way or the other for ordering some of your packages, whether it's in UAE or in Saudi or from Amazon Global. So millions of customers are using Amazon retail site, and eventually they definitely have some issues with their orders, or they would like to reach out to the customer service. So today, Amazon.com has more than 70,000 agents for the customer service who can speak dozens of languages, and they are working across 32 different countries. So with this need, we went out like a couple of years back, and we wanted to, scale out from the infrastructure perspective and move away from the legacy of the contact centers, where you have to take care about the agents licenses and number of agents and number of concurrent calls example, and at the same time to make sure the infrastructure is up to date and managed and all that stuff. So, and definitely procure more hardware as we grow. So eventually the concern was that uh, the market and was not really ready to have that products at that time to meet our expectations, Amazon.com expectations. And that's how when we went out, we couldn't find any vendor who can actually meet our expectations. Eventually we built it. So that's how Amazon Connect actually came into being, and that's the history of Amazon Connect. So, what you can really achieve now when you have Amazon Connect is that, as usual, we listen from our customers.
Mohib,
Yes,
excuse me. I think you have some issues in your sharing screen. Can you stop sharing and reshare again?
sure, sure.
Yes, clear now.
All right. Thanks, Hamad.
Okay, so thank
Let me
you.
know if there's any lag. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we built Amazon Connect for our own need as our contact center as Amazon.com, eventually, customers were enterprise customers were also asking, how do you guys manage it for your own contact centers? And we told them that, yeah, we have built a capability similar to AWS Cloud back in 2006, when we actually, brought the public cloud into the being. So we have a capability of Amazon Connect, and customers were like, why don't you also launch this as a service for your customers? And that's how Amazon Connect actually came into the market as a service itself, which is an easy to use omni-channel. So regardless you are going through the chats, or you have your own custom applications, or you have other social media platforms that you want to integrate with, for example, WhatsApp or Twilio or Twitter. So you can actually, integrate those, or even Facebook, you can actually integrate those to your contact center and make that omni-channel cloud-based customer engagement platform for for yourself or for your customers. Uh, and the main features when it comes to Amazon Connect is, just to mention a few, is that uh, I'll be diving deep into each of them, which is starting from left of the screen, which is skill-based contact routing, voice and chat recording for your transcripts, and real-time analytics, or historical analytics for your agents, for your supervisors to have, your contact center supervisors to have a dive deep into the analysis. For example, sentiment analysis or key phrase analysis, or give your agents real-time suggestions how to actually, make sure that the customer goes out of this call as a satisfied customer. And of course, the high quality voice capabilities. So I think, Ahmed, there's still an issue in my sharing screen, right?
Yes, same issue.
Let me just clear now.
Yes. Can
Great.
you run one or two slides? Yes, smoothly now. Yeah, okay.
Okay, thanks, and apologies for that.
No
So,
problem.
since we have launched Amazon Connect 3 years back, this has been one of the service that has majorly grown in in terms of features launches in the past 3 years. So, since the launch of Amazon Connect, we have had more than 134 plus major feature launches. So I'm just talking about the major ones. We have more in minor ones, but yes, uh, typically we are talking here about mainly the major ones. So I'll be also talking about some of the features today, which we have recently announced at our last reInvent. reInvent is an event where at the end of year, we usually have a technological event where we announce a lot of our new inventions or new services or features, which have been, our product teams have been working throughout the year based on the customer feedback. So, of course, more than 90% of our services are customer driven. We hear back from our customers, and that's how we actually start innovating on behalf of our customers. So, a few of the services that have been recently announced and why they're important. So, for example, I'll just give you a quick example of a contact center. So, back in US, there was a hotel that a person calls into this hotel, and the receptionist answers this call, and this receptionist does not know, or this agent does not know, that the person who is calling to this agent has made 20 hotel room suite booking 2 weeks earlier for a delegation. And so this means that the person who is calling is a VIP customer, because we need to ensure that, we give a nice protocol to this customer because they have 20 room suites booked for a delegation. However, this agent was not really able to, and this was a new requirement, not the same requirement as the 20 rooms, and this was a new requirement. And this agent actually, didn't make the delightful experience, and unfortunately, the upcoming delegation was lost. So what if the customer profiles was being visible to this agent that this person has made 20 suites booking prior to 2 weeks and they are having upcoming delegation? So probably, the agents need to make sure that this customer is a prioritized customer, and we need to ensure that they get the delightful service. So that's how the customer profiles has came into being in a real-time feature. So now with Amazon Connect, when you have contact center using Amazon Connect, you can actually enable these features. For example, customer profiles that would give your agents a real-time details about the customer's past or the recent activities or related activities from this customer. Whereas wisdom is also a feature, again based on machine learning, where the custom agent can actually get a real-time suggestion. So I'll be showing you a quick video or a demo video on that how your agents can get real-time suggestions to make sure that your customers, your end users are satisfied. For example, I'm a retail company and some customers calls me about or some, I'm a supplier of something and some customer is calling me for a supply of any product and asking me for discounts, and they are comparing me with other supplier. So if I have any, promotions going on, or if I have any suggested response, uh, immediately the suggested actions based on that words, the key phrases that has been used in that call, it would immediately, give a suggested action in a tab for this agent to immediately respond. So that's wisdom for you. We as real-time contact lens. So contact lens we had earlier as well, in the last not the 2020 reinvent, back in 2019 reinvent, but it was near real time, I would say. But now we have a real time contact lens that actually gives you real time analytics. For example, the real time sentiments of the customer, or real time transcription of the audio call to text. Or you can actually, as suggested actions can come real time using Amazon Comprehend at the back end, which works as an engine at the back end. We will dive deep how those services or those components are working together. Voice ID is one of those features that I personally like a lot. Why? Because, for example, if I'm calling to my bank or to my carrier provider or my, telco carrier, you often hear that, what is your national ID for authentication, and you every time you have to give your national ID. So, or you must have some mechanisms to authenticate yourself. With voice ID, the customer only once have to authenticate. I mean, the first time the caller has to authenticate, and in that first call, we actually take the voice samples, and based on those voice samples and the frequencies, we actually, have that voice sample now. And the next time when the same caller calls, we identify and authenticate using those voice samples. So the person or the agent would know that, this is the same caller, and I can actually save the time for this caller, as well as I can save my own time as an agent, and also reduce the waiting queue time in the contact center. The tasks is just allowing your agents to actually, make those follow-up tasks easier, whether it's to, have a call back to the customer or maybe some follow-up actions for a certain complaint. So those tasks can be integrated with your own CRM or your ticketing system. And we will be also talking about integrations as well. So this is what we have heard from our customers in the past year, but this does not stop. As we have seen that we have launched more than 134 plus services, major features in Amazon Connect. Probably more features are becoming with the following years. So this is just a high level overview of thousands of customers who have already started and adopted Amazon Connect. But yes, I will be doing some dive deep case studies as well here. So, what typically our challenge, our customers' challenges are, of course, it's first of all always starts from the infrastructure. So, legacy solutions usually require the infrastructure, the agent licenses, or eventually, having those uh, trust issues with the vendors, or inability to actually scale up or scale down, that we as Amazon.com were facing as well. uh, at the same time, you also need to be ensuring about the high availability and disaster recovery, and not having those AI features that the customers are now looking for to reduce their, for example, waiting queue times, and reducing the calls going to the agents for the same questions or similar questions coming from different callers, or having those expensive integration capabilities with your ticketing system or with your CRM systems. So now we were actually able to address these issues by having Amazon Connect. So how, from business perspective, so far I've been talking a lot about from technical side, but if we look into the business perspective, how Amazon Connect, delivers the real business value, I would say, to our customers. So the first thing is that it really reduces the call volume. Why? Because we have AI features which would be able to, you would be able to get a virtual bot, not a real human agent. Why does every call needs to go to your human agent? Whereas, for example, if you're a logistics company, uh, or a supply chain company, so most of your questions would be about, where is my shipment? This is my shipment number. This is my airway bill number. This is my tracking number. Where is my shipment? So these calls do not really need to go always to the agent. This is a very frequently asked question, and this can be addressed by a virtual bot, a smart bot, which can also understand your language, whether you're speaking English or whether you're speaking Arabic, what kind of Arabic accent you're going to speak. So all of that can be taken care by either Amazon, Lex, which is a virtual bot service, but today we do not have the native Arabic integrations in Lex. But yes, we have third party plugins, and that's the beauty of the integration capabilities we are talking about. So we have today the customers who are actually using the bot for their contact centers in multilingual languages, and that helps the customers to reduce the call volume by handling these kind of frequently asked questions by the bot, and only the escalated, or I would say some complex issues, can go to the human agent. And later on, it's an iterative exercise. Your model, your AI bot is constantly learning. And the beauty again here is that you don't need to be a data scientist, you don't need to be a machine learning model developer. Why? Because the services that we are going to demonstrate you in a couple of minutes are actually having pre-trained models. You don't have to do that. So you just add, it's a very basic UI on the dashboard. You just add your intents. What is your input that you're expecting from your callers? What kind of responses we want to have it in the conversational flow, and what should be the response, and what can be the integrations. So yes, it's not really that complex. So you don't have to be concerned about training the models and testing and building and all that stuff. So, and yes, the most important part is that we have observed, as compared to the other contact center as a service providers, is the actual ROI, the return on investment for the customers. So it is expected to be more or less than 241% uh, across 3 years, of course. So this is what we have observed so far with our customers. And at the same time, it reduces your systems administrators effort up to 60%. And now you're more into pay as you go model now. So you don't have to be concerned about the infrastructure, you don't have to be concerned about the agent licenses. uh, it's all in pay as you go model at a very very low cost, which I'll also address about the pricing. So now what Amazon Connect has really done is that it has reimagined the contact center. What our customers would ideate as a futuristic solution, it has really come into being as reality. So for example, intelligent automation, how to make skill based routing. So which agent should address a certain call or certain complaint. So based on your voice input or your speech on your WhatsApp, this agent would be automatically connected to you based on this person's capabilities. For example, if I want to contact for one of the telco carriers and I want to have a complaint about my home fiber internet, I don't need to speak to a general operator first, or press one for this, press two for that, press three for home fiber, and then choose open a new ticket or I have an existing ticket. So all that process is a very lengthy process, right? And often you hear a lot of promotions, and at the end of the call you get to be asked to give a feedback. And as per the research, more than 90% callers don't really give any feedback, they just end the call. So here the supervisors would be able to get the real customer insights as well, by having those AI features where they can understand the customer sentiments. By sentiments, I mean when are they happy, when they have been neutral in the call, when they have been negative in the call, or how the agent has been behaving on certain instances or certain situations, and when can we improve our agents capabilities based on the areas they need to get more trainings or enhancing their skills. And at the end of the day, it's more about having that context center flexibility. So uh, flexibility can be not just from integrations perspective, it can be also from functionality perspective. For example, I want to open a ticket for for a municipality. It's a public sector. It's a municipality. I want to open a ticket, whether I have their own application or if I want to go through Twitter or I want to go through WhatsApp, and they ask me for my national ID. And now what I can do is I can just upload my ID picture, comma picture, or the national ID picture, and using Amazon Text Track, which is a service for similar to OCRs, that you can have an image and you can extract the text from that image. It will automatically go back and match from the database, the backend database of your customer, and eventually validate me that yes, I am the right person to open the ticket. So those kinds of flexibilities. So the art of the possibilities, it's becomes almost unlimited. You can develop, because at the end of the day, AWS components are like Lego blocks, and you can build whatever you want using those components. So as I mentioned earlier, we would move away from, say, IVR, typical IVR thing where we have to go one for sales or two for support and three for billing, as I gave an example on the telco carrier path. So you would be able to automate the complete process of the self-service. So just a quick example, if let's say you are stuck during COVID-19 and you want to reschedule your airline ticket with any of the airlines, and you call this airline, and the incoming call is integrated with the airline CRM system. It can be any CRM system, uh, and it is also integrated using our Lambda services, which is a serverless service to just to make an API calls and eventually get the data from the flight booking system, that what are the details about this incoming customer call. So in this example, as you see on the screen, it shows that Nikki Wolf is a caller who is calling that the flight was cancelled, and it is automatically detecting that Nikki Wolf's flight was cancelled. It could be due to COVID SOPs or any reason. So the agent, the virtual agent, not the human agent, the virtual agent is automatically offering her that the next flight is available with the time details as per her flight booking system. And she is actually, without reaching out to any human agent, within a couple of seconds, she is able to understand that, okay, I have the same flight tomorrow, and if there is an availability, uh, please book me for that flight. And the virtual bot would identify that yes, the flight availability is there, and this is the seat number which is available again as per the flight booking system. And would you like me to do that? And Nikki Wolf says yes. And that's it. Thank you. And automatically, this flight booking or rescheduling or flight cancellation can be done. So this is the idea of having those contact flow engines to actually make your customer experience extremely delightful. So just to give another example of one of our customers called LA County, County of Los Angeles. So their main concern was that they had waiting queue of, at the peak time, the customers or the citizens had to hold for 45 to 50 minutes on the peak days. So LA County today, they have around 10 million of the population, and at the same time they have 110,000 employees. So they have internal customers as well as the citizens. So they have to they wanted to improve this waiting time uh, as much as possible. So what they really did is they went with the AI services, the virtual bots, to answer the most frequently asked questions. Only that itself, and of course, having the agents to be working from anywhere, or being able to reducing by the chatbots and constantly improving chatbots, they have been able to reduce the wait time from 45 to 50 minutes, and now they are actually in 3.5 minutes. So that's the average. So from 50 minutes to 3.5 minutes. So that's how your customers can take benefit of. And at the same time, rather than asking for the feedbacks, they are able to get the real-time feedback from the customer, because we know their sentiments, and we can improve the quality of our agents and how to serve the citizens and the internal employees better. And as I mentioned earlier about the chatbots, so it's going to be a same experience, I would say, same experience across your channels. So whether you're working with, Apple Business Chat, or you're working with Amazon Connect Chat, or you have WhatsApp, or you have Twitter, uh, or you just have your own customized application, or you just want to use Amazon Connect Live Chat, because we have live agent chat as well. So whatever medium you're working with, you can eventually get the same history of the chat, what has been happening on the other channel, just to make sure that your citizen or your caller or your customer, your end user, does not have to repeat themselves. So we talked about the intelligent automation, the customer insights, and the contact center flexibility. But I would, just quickly try to dive deep a little bit more on the contact lens. So contact lens is something which provides you with the real time as well as historical, a detailed analytics and sentiment analysis for your customers. And at the same time, you can actually have those supervisors of your contact centers to be able to assist the agents in real time. So even if the agent is stuck or not being able to address your caller's issue, the supervisor can immediately jump in and help the agent and avoid any negative escalations. So that's kind of features of contact lens. And at the same time, you can also have advanced search details. So probably as I mentioned, you can have the suggested actions for this caller, like what the agent can do, maybe offer the discount, maybe this telco carrier wants to avoid any kind of churn rate and they can, they want to keep the customer. So yes, you can get the advanced details, advanced suggested actions. So that's a few of the features for the contact lens for Amazon Connect. So this is how exactly the contact search would look like, about the sentiment score, about the non-talking time, about the so if there's a silence time, we can also see the silence time in real time, details about the sentiment of the customer as well as the agent. So it is also possible, the agent, might, need some improvement in certain areas. So yes, the supervisor can actually take this data and provide a data driven analysis to this agent, and to identify the areas where this agent needs improvement. So we can actually identify both the customer and the agent's analysis. So if we talk about the contract trace record, the CTR records, so the customer insights, which we're talking here about, you can, as a contact center owner, you can actually get details about entire call transcript, and you can also keep it for, let's say, whatever retention period you may have for some sort of compliance, maybe 1 year or 3 years or 7 years or 10 years, depending on the industry and the compliance regulations that you may have. So you can actually keep those transcripts, or even the audio files itself, where, of course, in our object storage, which is S3, simple storage service, which is very cost effective, and you can also apply the lifecycle policies on that objects, so that you can actually, really reduce the cost, and that's another parameter of reducing your contact center cost. The other thing, as we, also talked about the, for example, if you want to have the reduction of the sensitive data in a call, so it would be again able to identify that, for example, this is the national ID in the transcript, and this is going to be stored in Macy, sorry, in S3, and we can use Macy on top of it to actually identify the PII data that, you may have in that transcript. So those are the other kind of, analytics that you can get in real time. So the recording and the transcript is actually available, and you can actually get the kind of, you can say, the tags of categories, that where are we seeing this, this call talking about. How at the back end or under the hood, I would say, it is using Amazon Comprehend, but the difference is that you would not, as you as a caller, or as a call center or a contact center, you would not be concerned about what are we using as the components at the back end. So here, as a contact lens in the real time, what happens is it's using the similar engine or capabilities like Comprehend, where you can identify the sentiment analysis, or you can identify the entities. uh, Maybe your customer has, for example, again, a logistics company, for example, they have multiple branches, and they are getting complaints, so they can identify which city, which branch is getting, most of the complaints, based on the data they have collected on the customer calls. So rather than, our agent has to type everything, and you have to do your analytics in a traditional way, here you're getting the real-time analytics, and you get the dashboard. Either you can have it using, a quick site, which is again Amazon service for, for having your dashboards, or you can just, go with Elasticsearch and Kibana combination, if needed for the real-time analytics as well, or near real-time. So we have multiple options here, or you can just go with your existing CRM, and if they have the BI capabilities, you can integrate with those as well. So I'll be just skipping this slide, because we have just talked about the real-time contact lens, and all it does is it provides you with the real-time contact center analytics, which is again powered by our machine learning capabilities. And why do we emphasize a lot on our machine learning capabilities? Is because this is something not new to Amazon. We have been doing this for the past 2 decades, for almost more than 20 years now, for Amazon Retail and other services, other products like Alexa, and now eventually we are maturing a lot in our machine learning services. So again, our critical customers who are actually using for insight purpose, so which would be one of the important customers would be can be Intuit, or it can be also Accolade, that they're actually using contact lens in specific for the customer contact center insights. So just to highlight and a quick recap, Amazon Connect is a 100% cloud-based pay-as-you-go pricing model for your contact centers. You can scale up and down, at any given time. You can also, have open platform when it comes to the integrations. At the same time, you can integrate with other AWS services or partner solutions that we will be coming into in a while when we talk about the contact center intelligence, that how we can work or integrate with other partners as well. And if I just give you an example again about the how the chat or the browser would look like for your agents. So probably your agents would also require a desk phone, or they would just require some sort of hardware, uh, just to respond to the calls. So during COVID, especially, a lot of contact center customers have moved to work from home, and they have been answering calls from their home. And this feature specifically of having a browser-based soft phone is not really new in the contact center world, but yes, it is available as a feature that expedites the whole process of deploying the contact center. So this feature is also available, so that you can actually have the live chat agents as well as the live caller agents, so that they can work from anywhere based on their the schedule that you have for those agents, and you can actually deploy your end-to-end contact center solution within a few days, or maximum a few weeks, depending on your integrations. But yeah, if you just want to have a deployment for example, for a testing or for a POC, you can do it in minutes. And this is the kind of profile, for example, you can get about about the caller, that what are the details of this caller. And if I want to integrate with my Salesforce or with my other uh, other CRM tools or other ticketing tools that I have, I can eventually get these kinds of details, uh, that what my script is, and at the same time what group does this caller relies on to, or what kind of task that the agent may have to call back to this caller, or if there's anything scheduled, or if they have been transferred about anything to specific department if needed, and how much the waiting time was there from moving from one department to another if needed. So here's an example, if we want to embed the contact center control panel into your Salesforce. So this is again the example of the contact center integrations. So whether you want to integrate with your CRM, again using AWS Lambda, or Amazon Lex chatbot, which is providing you the conversational AI for the chatbot. So it's not just a simple chatbot solution; it is AI based or AI powered chatbot that enables you to make those conversational flows even more smarter. So even if you immediately switch the language, so if I'm talking in English and I immediately ask the question in Arabic, it will understand immediately and start responding me in Arabic. It will understand the picture or the text. For example, if I'm sending any picture using WhatsApp, and I integrate my Lex chatbot using Lambda to trigger Amazon text track. It will eventually understand which language the national ID is having. It will extract that image into the text and eventually add that data to the databases. Again, back to using Amazon AWS Lambda back to the customer's databases. And recordings and transcripts that can be stored into S3, which we talked about earlier. For it can be just for the transcripts, or it can be also for the reason of compliance. And at the same time, you can have your agents data, and you can store it into your workforce management for future analysis or historical analysis and identifying how to improve their skills. And if you want to have other matrices for your data analytics, so you can integrate with your own data warehouses, or you can integrate with native AWS services for analytics. For example, you can have it integrated with, again, a serverless architecture without even harming any servers. So you can have Amazon Glue to catalog your data and do the ETL jobs, and then eventually run Athena to run SQL queries on that data, which is based out of Presto engine. And the quick site is mainly for your BI tool or your dashboard tool. So there are other native services from security, from storage, from databases. I would be demonstrating a few of the services in just a while. So please stay on hold. So interesting thing, the pricing part. So it is pay as you go pricing, but the beauty here is that you, as a customer, for when you're deploying your contact center, most of the contact center providers, when if we go into the traditional way, would ask for long-term commitments, the licenses, and or they would have a minimum monthly fee as a target. So here we do not have that. It's how it is priced. So definitely we have more now 25 regions, and based on the availability of Amazon Connect in each region. So today Amazon Connect is not available in our Middle East region, which is Bahrain region. So right now the pricing that you see here is applicable on the specific regions. Uh, and how we can actually develop a solution. For example, if you have your customers in UAE, or if you have your customers in Saudi, so I have some workarounds on that, and I will be probably addressing those at the end of this session, so that you can actually understand the real-time solution, the practical solution, how it can be implemented for your customers in Saudi or in UAE or in Kuwait or in Bahrain, anywhere in the Middle East where we do not have the local numbers today available. So Amazon Connect pricing is actually, when you start with the free tier, it is absolutely free for 90 minutes per month. And the number that you can claim is basically the DID number. So we have two types of numbers available in Amazon Connect. One is the toll-free number, the other one is the DID number. And what do you get from consumption perspective is that the pricing is 0.018 cents per minute for your voice usage. And the rates that you see here on the screen are charged by the minimum 10 seconds basis. So if you had a call of, let's say, 5 seconds or 6 seconds, it would be charged for the 10 seconds. But the price here is 0.018 per minute. So it would be calculated automatically according to the 10 seconds billing. The other one is the chat. So eventually, if you're using chat instead of the call, so this is the price 0.004 cents per message. So it's just the message that you're sending to the bot, not receiving from the bot. And as a task, so if you're integrating this with any of the systems like the ticketing or CRM or workforce management, and you have agent task that has to be delivered, so that agent task would be priced 0.04 per task. So these are the main areas where it is priced. And of course there is a very fixed amount, which is, I think, a very minimal amount, which is usually to have the the number claimed for Amazon Connect. So anyone wanted to have break, Ahmed, or any questions so far, or we can continue?
Yes, Mohab. We don't have any question in. Guys, you have question? If you have question, we can take break for 5 minutes. If you have any question, please write it in the comment. They will feature it. Uh, mm, just a second. We have a question from Dudi, and you already answer for this for paying for pricing for the service.
Okay.
So we can continue. I'm happy. We can make a question for at the end of the session.
Yes, we have a question and answer session at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so we continue then.
Yes.
All right. So now the area I would be focusing is what if the customer has existing contact centers, whether it's an Avaya or Genesis, Zendesk or 8x8. So how can the customer can leverage the intelligence part? So the whole name is Contact Center Intelligence. So how we can focus more on the intelligence part? Okay, so I'll be addressing that question, Ashraf. So please stay on the hold. I will be addressing that part in the at the end of this webinar. So the intelligence part is, as we talked about, adding the intelligence part to the existing customers contact center. So here's the ML stack, the AWS ML stack, that how really it looks like. So mainly what happens is that we are working on 3 layers as AWS. The first layer is just the AI services that have pre-trained models. You don't have to work on them. You just have to add your data sets. You have to just, and when I say data sets, it's just more about, adding your development part, like your intents, your slots, your utterances, for example, in Amazon Lex. And then eventually you would be able to take leverage of these AI services that you see here on the screen. You can just add your, for example, your CSV files where you have for Amazon forecast, and you can actually, start getting your forecast in the future. Or if you want to have personalized for, personalized recommendation engine, so eventually you can use personalized as well. Anyhow, these are the AI services, and mainly when we talk about Amazon Connect and the contact center intelligence part, we are working on the top layer. The middle layer, which is mainly the SageMaker, is the end-to-end solution for, for your building and testing and training and developing your machine learning models. But this is not an area where we would be working on for this solution, because this is mainly where your developers or your data scientists come into being. Whereas the last and the bottom area is more for the researchers or data scientists that would like to, you know, work a lot of, manual efforts with their own frameworks, whether they want to work with PyTorch or TensorFlow, and probably they would like to work with MXNet or Gluon, and they'd like to get a lot of GPU instances, or they have some, throughput requirements for inferentia or something like that, and they can actually, go with this bottom layer. So our focus mainly is on the AI services. So why do customers really need this intelligence part? For example, if I am a customer using any traditional contact center solution, why would I need this? So the idea is that you can actually understand your customer, and you can actually understand what they need as as customers, and also understand how did you perform and where are the areas to improve. So keeping those four uh, understandings or concepts in the back of our head, like how we can understand areas of improvement, how do we currently perform, and what do really our customers need. uh, this is where the key drivers eventually would come into the customer engagement. So first thing is that how can I reduce my cost, whether it's moving from capex to opex model, or whether it's moving away from agent licenses model, or whether it's cost of infrastructure scalability, administration overhead. So this is one of the very prime drivers of having AI in that, as a middle layer, I would say, for your conversational flows. How it can also improve the customer experience. At the end of the day, everyone is trying to improve their customer experience. The area that the era and the time that we are living today is more about services, right? Everyone is going behind the services, and you get satisfied service, you would be, most likely you would be going back to that company or to that service provider again. And if that service customer service is not delightful, there are chances that you would not be going back to that service provider or to that even a shopping center if the customer service is not very supportive. And again, to drive revenues. So how exactly contact center intelligence works is that you have today your current existing setup, and you just like to get you'd like to gain efficiencies into the uh, your contact center current solution. You want to understand how you're performing, how we can automate the processes, how we can actually get the real time analytics and all that stuff. So with no prior machine learning expertise, as I mentioned, that we'll be working on the AI services layer where we have pre-trained models. So you would be able to choose one of the AWS CCI contact center intelligence partner, which can be Avaya, 8x8, Genesis, Salesforce, Zendesk, and eventually integrate this AWS CCI into your existing contact center platform. And eventually you can have multiple turnovers, which can be reducing the operating cost, reducing the uh, waiting time of the queues. It can be increasing your customer satisfaction. So all that stuff. So here we are not moving the infrastructure part. Here we are not taking you away from the agent licenses, because there's a possibility you have recently bought the hardware, you have recently contracted with your existing contact center solution provider, so you can continue with that, but now we are just providing you enhanced AI capabilities on top of that solution. So what are the three main use cases for contact center intelligence? The first one is the self-service part. So similar to what we were doing in Amazon Connect, where the customer gets into the conversational flow and press one for English, press two for Arabic, for example. So all that stuff, asking for airway bills or tracking number or flight scheduling. So instead of going into whole that to through that whole process, we can actually offer the self services using our Amazon Lex or Amazon Text Tract or other services in between. Real-time call analytics or agent assist. So what we are here doing is we are trying to uh, decrease the waiting time by having those agent assist. For example, even if you call an agent and agent is trying to get a response for you, the agent might say, do you mind holding for a minute or two? And they come back and they say, thanks for holding. So we want to actually reduce that hold time and that handling time by the agent as well. How? By having that real time suggestions, what to respond to this customer. So those are again, kinds of use cases that we can bring in. And the last one here is the post call analytics. So this is to, not just to understand how your agents are performing, but also find the areas again to improve their capabilities, and how you as a company can solve your customer problems even faster. So, what AWS AI services we are going to mainly use from that top layer that we saw of our machine learning stack is mainly these five services that you see on the screen. The first one is Amazon Lex and Poly. So Lex is basically a conversational AI for your chatbot. So this is the chatbot service, or a virtual bot service, you can say, for this to enable the self-service. And at the same time, Poly is kind of a vice versa, where it can actually take the text as a response and make it into the speech. Whereas Amazon transcribe is actually the inverse of Poly, where it takes the speech and convert it into text. So Lex again is a chatbot. Poly is actually something taking into the text and putting into speech. So your chatbot can respond to the caller in the speech by having the text at the back end. And transcribe is actually inverse of poly, where you actually give the caller is giving the speech and it transcribes into the text, and that's where you run the your analytics on top of that transcribed text. Comprehend is actually the I would say the main core engine for the for this kind of natural language processing, where you do the sentiment analysis, the key phrase analysis. We also have entity detection, and at the same time you can also have not in this current solution, but in general, we also have Amazon Comprehend Medical, where you might have use cases for your medical customers who would use medical terminologies. So yes, Comprehend Medical is capable of understanding those medical terminologies as well. Amazon Translate is again, for example, if a caller is in talking in English, whereas my agent is in Arabic, so I can get the real-time transcript, and I can actually get the translation of the text, and accordingly I can start responding or try to understand. So there's two things, right? So one thing is that if I'm an English speaker and the other person on the phone on the line is not really able to understand anything and not able to support me, that's also a negative impact. Whereas if this person is able to resolve my problem, regardless what technology backend they're using for me, to make sure that my experience is delightful, using Amazon Transcribe, Translate, give suggested actions to this agent using Amazon Kendra. So Kendra would eventually be able to go through the internal documents or the databases, for example. By databases, I mean the data sets or the indexes that you may have for responding to this customer. So in real time, you can start assisting your agent to go through your documents and be able to find the right answer and give the suggested actions. So this CCI also allows the customers to bring your existing telephony. So you would be having your existing number, you have your existing landline, your VoIP or PBX or whatever you're using on prem. We are just adding the AI layer into that existing solution. So talking about the technology partners, what partners we can work with using CCI, Contact Center Intelligence. We can have the customer engagement platforms of Genesis, Avaya, Salesforce. The most popular ones are already there. Whereas when it comes to the software enablers, it can be the UiPath, it can be the Cresta, it can be as well as Vonage. Whereas in self-service, we have also some partners, whereas consulting partners, there are many global partners, as well as, we are working on getting a few of local partners, but mainly right now, the consulting partners are mostly the global partners. So yeah, I would like to actually show you some self-service demo, actually, a quick video, but I think there would be some technical issue on the audio. So I'd be just skipping that, for the video part, and I'd be giving you a real-time demo here. So why self-service? As we mentioned earlier, have those virtual agents, intelligent routing, and be able to, collect the key information from this caller, save caller's time, save your agent's efforts time to resolve the concern. So what self-services we are, at the back end, what we're using, again, the chatbot is working with Amazon Lex, whereas the IVR part is working with Poly. And Kendra is again, being able to assist the agent in real time. For example, the suggested actions or based on the promotions or the marketing campaigns or the documents that are currently running on. Let me see if we can play this. Oops.
I can see your screen, black screen now.
Is it still black
Yes,
screen?
yes. Stop sharing and reshare again.
Sure.
You didn't share anything, huh?
Yeah, I'm just trying to
Okay.
reshare.
What's the issue?
It says that my browser has been blocked to share the screen.
Strange.
Okay. Is it back again?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, guys, for that again.
No problem.
Right. So, thanks, Ahmed. So, the second thing, moving away from self service, is having the real time call analytics and agent assist. So, talked about how it really, what are the use cases, like providing, efficient uh, call wrap up, or understanding your customer needs and trying to solving it faster, and alerting the supervisors, if they, in case, is there, if there's any escalation, so what we can really do, and all those matter. So that's another use case when it comes to real-time analytics. And what kind of services do we really use at the back end? Again, from that AI stack and the five services that we talked about, is transcribe and comprehend. So yes, comprehend again for sentiments, for entities, for key phrases. So that's the service that we use. And transcribe again is taking the audio, the speech, and putting into the text. Whereas the real time, or that's the real time analytics. But what about a historical data for post call analytics? So this is mainly to, to understand the voice of the customer in future, like how we can do the improvement. So this is not talking about the real time customer need and give the suggested action. No, we want to understand how did we perform, and how we can improve further, and how we can upgrade the skills of our agents where, they might need improvement. So that's again the post call analytics way. And the idea is to again, give deep insights about your services, about your own products. So what products and services, have been mostly talked about, what kind of feedback has been given. And you know uh, you can actually develop kind of a scorecard for your agents to assess them, based on these, and more of a quality assurance, and give the right coaching for your agents. So what kind of services at the back end we use? It's more of a combination of the two, back self-service and real-time analytics. So we are going to use Lex again for chatbot, transcribe from speech to text, comprehend again for sentiments, for entities, for key phrases, and S3 is where you actually, it's the storage service where you actually dump your data, your transcripts. And QuickSight is the area where we provide, it's an Amazon QuickSight service for BI tooling. So this is where your supervisors or your leadership team can actually view the data, the results that has been collected either in real time. Actually, it's in real time, but yeah, you're doing post analytics using that data. So here I'm going to show you a quick, a demo where you can actually build your own speech analytics for Amazon Connect. So here, what I'm going to show you here is that how in real time the agents sentiments are going to change from neutral to happy to angry, uh, what the caller is real time asking for, and how the translation would happen. So for now, it's in Spanish, and how it's going to show the suggested actions in English. So let's quickly play this video for you, and I'm going to narrate on top of it. So I have an inbound call from, coming from this number. I'm an agent, and I start answering this call. So now I know the caller's name based on the database. It can be, your customer's database, or it can be AWS native databases like DynamoDB. And I can identify this number, that this is Yasir Haqqan. And now using Comprehend, I'm able to see the sentiments in real time. Using Transcribe and Translate, I'm able to see the real-time translation into the desired language. And based on the key phrases that have been used, I'm getting real-time suggested actions as an agent. So I know that this person, is asking for discounts. They have, been getting, better pricing from competitors' website. So if I can't match their price, uh, how can I really, help this customer? So immediately I got the suggested actions, that you can have a renew promotional discount, or you can offer 25% discount for 1 year, or also try to investigate customers loyalty offers, if they may have the loyalty offers for the time of duration they have been with this service provider. So all of this is happening actually in real time. And why? Because let's say this, I will also show you a demo on the historical data and why we're using real time now. Because the call may ended angry, but or neutral, but the whole process, the caller was not really sad or disappointed. There were areas when the customer became happy, the caller became sad, angry, or neutral. So in order to capture all the fluctuations of the sentiments, we need to have this real-time data rather than just have the end result that the customer was just happy. So was he calling angry and ended up happy? We don't know. We just know that in historical data it was angry. But using these kind of transcripts and having those sentiment analysis, we can understand where was the caller happy, and how did the agent, what were the efforts of the agent to make this customer happy. So we have a lot of customer stories. I will just walk one or two, and then I will open a quick demo, and then we could move for a quick question and answers. So yeah, we have customers like Maximus who are actually again using contact center intelligence mainly for their AI services. They have thousands of agents across 6 countries, and they answer are approximately 7 million calls per month. Again, not Amazon Connect. They have their own contact center, but yes, they are using they're using Genesis cloud environment, and they integrated the AI part using Amazon CCI. Ryanair is another customer who is again, they have 3 million conversations across multiple languages. So yes, we have offered them a chatbot. You can say Amazon Lex as an AI layer to actually, help them reduce the waiting queue time or getting these call on their contact centers. Quantum Health again is using Quantipi. Again, it's a collaboration of the CCI partner, which is Quantipi as a solution. Uh, and the idea here is to integrate with the Amazon Chime voice connector and transcribe, which give Quantum Health the ability to understand and accelerate their member engagement, the Quantum Health engagement, in just 5 weeks. So before it was taking longer time, but due to this healthcare navigation system and coordination between different companies and insurance companies, so they are able to take this time to a very very minimal time. So before I move into question and answers, I would just quickly open a quick uh, probably I need to switch my screen again. So here we are in real time Amazon Connect dashboard. This is very simple to set up in my AWS console. And simply what I'm doing here is I just went to Amazon Connect, which really falls into business applications. And once I come into my Connect console, I can just set up my telephony setup, whether I want to make inbound calls or outbound calls, what kind of data storage. I can just set up my storage here, where should be my folder, I would say, in simple words. But in AWS terms, we would say where is my S3 bucket, where I would store my transcripts, and eventually what would be my tasks, agent tasks, what would I be able to integrate with. So I can add an application with my CRM or workforce management. For example, you might have ServiceNow or Salesforce or CRM or any other CRM that you might be using. Uh, yep. And going back to the overview, this is where this is not the contact center dashboard. It is itself from AWS console to manage the contact center. So this is more from deployment perspective. The instance management, when I say instance management, is more about administration, adding roles and users in terms of for your Amazon Connect. Whereas the actual dashboard of Amazon Connect would look like this. So I can actually, change the language that I want. Today, here we don't see Arabic, but yes, sooner or later we would have multiple languages in this list. So how do you set up your phone number? So you can just go easily to your view phone numbers, and you can just immediately claim a number. So as we mentioned earlier, we have two kinds of numbers, toll free and DID. You can choose the country where you want to, deploy your number and eventually get the number immediately. So this is, we have a pool of numbers, reserved for Amazon in these countries, and then you can take that number and claim it for yourself. Uh, and how to manage your conversational flows is also very important. So not much programming experience is required here, because you can just, it's more about, drag and drop, and you can just, integrate the conversational flows and transfer to different flow or transfer to different queue the way you like it. You can integrate with other services as you like. You can also, integrate using AWS Lambda functions. You can also, set some kind of, oops, you can set also the routing priorities, logging behaviors. Also, you can have the customer queue flow. So identifying the customer needs and accordingly transferring it to the required or desired flow. You can also set a callback number. So probably, you want to call back to the caller as an agent, and what number should be, showing to their display. So all those configurations are very quick and simple to use. So I'll be just, dialing a quick number for you for your as a demonstration. Ahmed, I will be making a real-time call. Please let me know if the call is not audible.
Okay.
So one more thing that I need to do before I just make this call is that I need to make myself live as an agent. And going back to the contact flow, just to let you guys know at which path I am in each uh, step. So once I dial the number that I have already got into my phone, I would be eventually getting the logging behavior, which I've enabled to log the details about my caller, and the voice, which should be working as a chatbot. I can just choose the voice or the type of, depending the customizations of your virtual bot, you can choose, and the integrations part. So the idea here is that this is a university, and the students would be calling for exam timetable or student ID. So whenever they give me an input, something like, can I have the exam timetable, or can I have, may I know this about the exam timetable, or they ask me about student ID, I should be, getting a feedback from the bot that, may I know your faculty, please, may I know your email address, please, and whatever faculty they may be, the faculty slots are already there, which can be engineering, finance, medical, architecture, accounts. So this is the flow it's going to look like. Uh, and I'm not calling for the first time. So in the backend database, I have a lot of numbers that has called. So my number is here. So eventually it should be able to understand my name as Mohib Khan and actually narrate my name when I make the call. So let's dial it quickly.
Yes, we can hear.
Hi, welcome to the Student Affairs Call Center. How may I help you today?
Can I have the exam timetable?
May I know your faculty, please?
Engineering.
May I know your faculty, please?
Engineering.
May I know your email address, please?
abc@xyz.com.
May I know your email address, please?
abc@xyz.com.
Sorry, I could not understand.
So now I gave a dummy email address. It understood that this is wrong. The email address I have in my database is different. So now it will redirect me to a real agent. So let's go to the real agent.
Customer only. Hello, thanks for calling. These are some examples of what the Amazon Connect Virtual Contact Center can enable you to do. Press 1 to be put in queue for an agent. 2 to securely enter.
So now is I'm actually in the flow of here. So it actually went back and asked for student ID, exam timetable, and as I couldn't give the real email address here, it has moved me to the transfer flow. So this is the call I'm getting right now. So whatever I'm going to speak right now, it would be transcribed. How it is going to be transcribed? At the back end, we are using a service called AWS Step Functions. And this is how it's going to look like that it will start doing the transcription job, wait for a few seconds to make sure the transcription job is complete. It will try to get the status. If the job has failed, it will end the loop. If the job has completed successfully, it will save the transcript to S3. Eventually, what would you be looking for as an end result is a dashboard of analytics. So, for example, I need to understand my agents and my callers' sentiment and how they have been working. So this is the kind of dashboard I would, be looking at. So I have the details that, I had 6 calls, and out of those 6 calls, 3 have been negative. Just 1 call has been positive, 1 neutral, and 1 has been mixed. But I want to understand the sentiments about who was that talker? Like, was it the agent or was it the caller himself or herself? So if we see here the count of records, you can actually see, how many times the customer was negative, and it is 3. Whereas the agent, at one time the customer got neutral, at one time the agent was mixed. So agent is getting neutral and mixed means probably uh, they need more improvement in certain areas because there is a tendency to maybe not being able to help the customer. So these kinds, and we can eventually add more analytics on top of it. For example, the key phrases, the entities that have been mentioned, uh, the professor name that had been mentioned, department name that have been mentioned. So all of that can be uh, added into this existing dashboard. So that was a quick demonstration of using different AWS services and BI dashboard. So let's move towards the question and answers then. And before we move to question and answer, I think you wanted to Ahmed, you wanted to do something before we move to Q&A?
Regarding Kahoot, you mean?
Yes.
We can get at the end of the session. Let's
Okay.
take first question from the guys. We have
Sure.
question from Ashraf.
Yes, it was regarding the numbers in Saudi, right?
Yes.
Right. So today we have two kinds of solution, Ashraf. The first is to have the call forwarding. So we have experimented this. Yeah. Okay. So we have put it on the picture. So
Just
we
flipping
have,
it.
yeah. So we have two kinds of solution right now. We have tested both. One is the call forwarding part, where the customer might have the existing Saudi numbers, for example, 9200 or any unified number. So usually the nearest, I would say, the connect instance that can be deployed is Frankfurt, based on the latency tests that we have done. So usually when you have the contact center solutions remotely, the ideal latency should be less than 150 milliseconds. But yes, with between Frankfurt and Saudi, we have tested it is less than 100 milliseconds. So it's still in two digits, double digit latency. And we have tested Arabic language with that, and it was real time. You'd get the feel of absolutely real time for an actual customer. We did this POC. The second workaround is to have a secure tunnel, for example, global MPLS link. A small link, for example, of 2 Mbps would be sufficient, for example, for let's say 25,000 minutes. If you have 25,000 inbound minutes per month, so that's, you can say, what we have exercised so far. That can be a positive solution, but the call forwarding solution itself is very expensive. So for example, taking 25,000 minutes as a benchmark, the cost of Amazon Connect of inbound, outbound contact lens S3, it would be somewhere around, you can say, $2,500 per month, which is very cost effective. Whereas if I just take that call forwarding, uh, usually the local carrier or the local telco will charge me approximately 1 Saudi Riyal to forward the call from Riyadh to Frankfurt. So that means the customer has to pay 25,000 Saudi Riyals additional per month, whereas Connect solution is only $2,500. So that's why we have a second solution, which is having those global MPLS links, which would connect you to the nearest edge location, which can be either in Bahrain or in Dubai. And we can, once you enter to the AWS network, we would reroute the traffic to the Frankfurt instance. This private MPLS link or global MPLS link is usually much cheaper, but it is a fixed price. Whereas with call forwarding, it depends on the number of minutes you consume. So there are trade-offs. At the same time, if the customer has a trade-off with agents or number of licenses, number of infrastructure, so you are getting rid of infrastructure, you're getting rid of administration point of view, you are getting availability and high availability and fault tolerance, and that's no more an issue right now. So if you consider all of those as a trade-off, so that would be the main business value proposition for your customers, that why we can still go with Connect despite not having local numbers from our pool. Customers can have use their own numbers and reroute the traffic either using call forwarding or having global MPLS terminating at the nearest edge location. Okay, so it can be substitute to Avaya or Cisco IP phone. So when you say Avaya and Cisco IP phone, are you referring to the desk phones, and is it the contact center, or you're talking about a collaboration solution for any office internally? So this is not a solution for office internally. This is more for your customer service or customer engagement platforms. So if you're using desk phones, you can still continue using your desk phones, but that's a different kind of integration. Uh, Again, we would have to integrate with your existing contact center as well, because we don't have right now in Saudi. Or you can also integrate your existing IP phones with Amazon Connect. But mainly what we do is we go with browser-based soft phones, but you can connect them. How does contact center react for Arabic like IVR service? So Fahad, we are actually using a third-party plugin for now, because if you look at the contact center, it's multiple components of AWS services that build an end-to-end solution. So here we are typically talking about Amazon Lex, and Amazon Lex is, it at the end of the day, it uses I would say, similar engine that is used for Alexa, and it's constantly learning. And we use a third-party plugin to do the integration for the Arabic language for now, which you can, at any given time, you would be able to move away from the third-party plugin to native Arabic support for Lex once it is available. It's not available today, but yes, we have tested the workaround with production workloads. Already, few banks are using it. Also in Saudi, in UAE, some logistics companies are already using it. Some municipalities are already using it. So we have tested the latency. It's already, absolutely real. I would say real time, but just near real time, that an actual caller would not feel an impact of any latency. And that's why we prefer, going with Frankfurt. Yes, Fahad, I think this is a similar question to Ashraf. So yes, you can bring your own numbers, uh, your own telephone number, as we discussed also in CCI part, the contact center intelligence part. You can, bring your own telephony. We would just integrate the intelligence part. But if you're talking about Amazon Connect, that's also doable. But again, we have to either do call forwarding, or we have to go with a global MPLS link. Dora, in DEF CON, I've seen unlimited number of fraud operations done on real alerted by phone calls. So bank help desks. What are the fields in which a user of AWS Connect helps to reveal this? Uh, Dora, what I am interpreting from this question is that, what if uh, someone is calling a fake call from a fraud call, maybe an interpret, or acting as a bank agent or help desk and making those fraud calls, and how we can actually find the areas to reveal this. Is this my understanding correct? If you're still there, Dora, can you please confirm?
Okay, until the reply. There's another question from Fahd. Fahd, I have a lot of questions today.
Sure. The contact center, WebRTC, or and Vibe calls. Yes, Fahad. So yes, we actually do WebRTC, as you see the browser-based this soft phone that we have, and at the same time we can also use the chime connectors, as we showed about uh, the quantum health. So that is also a customer that is using the voice connector that actually moves your traffic from the PSTN and eventually translate into the VoIP as the last mile to reach the Amazon Connect. And yep, we do that in a simple. So Dora, yes. So okay, so I think the customer who is going to take this number of claiming this number from Amazon eventually must have an AWS account, right? And either they have it as an entity or as an individual, and making those fraud calls. So eventually, once this number is reported or anything, probably we can, look into the legal actions, what we can take down. But definitely, that we are very strict in such policies, and we take very, strict, or immediate actions. For example, if there's some fraudulent activities happening using those numbers. But definitely we don't go into our customers' data, and at the same time, we do not have that transparency what you would be doing with your contact center. But yes, if something has been registered as a complaint for a certain number, then yes, we can eventually look into that.
Okay. Plus, we don't have any more questions. Now, time for Kahoot.
Game time.
Yes. Let me share my screen. Be ready, guys. Guys, please open Kahoot.it. Let me send in the chat.
Yeah. So Ahmed, these vouchers are going to be based out of Kahoot results.
Yes, for the first and second, third place.
All right.
First
luck,
place
guys.
will take $50, and second, third, $25.
Awesome.
Let's share screen.
Let me stop mine.
Okay. Stop again. Sorry. Now you can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can.
Yes, okay. Let me start. No, second one. We have 2 tabs. Just a second. Yes. Type now, guys. We can open from your mobile device Kahoot.it and enter this bin number 103133303 and join us. Kahoot. I featured it. Please, guys, write your name, your first name, second name, because after the session, you will contact me. The bin, let me 1031303. The bin on the screen, the top of the screen, 1031303. Now we have Fahd, Badr, Ibrahim. يلا شباب. Real name please guys, real name. تمام. أنس. Also we have a problem with latency, so I made the question for 2 minutes. Every question 2 minutes, because I think we have latency for 30 seconds, 25 seconds. So the question is very easy from the session content. It will take just 20 seconds. Yes, we have now 14 joiners. يلا شادي, Hussein. I will start after 2 minutes. Yes, Fadi. So you will notice the question or look at your laptop and your answer from your mobile device. Still 1 minute, I will start. Okay. يلا شباب, I will start now. 3, 2, 1. Five, four, three, two, one. 6 answers for mini Alexa devices. 9 answers for conversational AI for chatbots. On-prem contact center solution. 3 answers. Okay. Next question. First place Hussein, Badr, Fahd, Anas, Tony. Yeah. Next question. We have only 3 questions. Which feature of Amazon Connect provides real-time contact center analytics powered by machine learning? 12 answer, 14 answer, 15. I think we need 1 minute only for the question, but no problem. Because I think all guys answer. Okay. Contact lens, 15 answer. Wisdom, 3 answers. Customer profiles, 1 answer. Yeah. Score, Anas, Badr, Fahd, Mannan. Next question. Last one. What are the main use cases for Contact Center Intelligence, CCI? Self-service, real-time analytics, and agent assist, post-call analytics, all of above. Okay, let's check the score. Third place Anas. Congratulations Anas. Second place Ashraf. And first place Badr. Congratulations to Badr, Ashraf and Anas. Number 4 Fahd.
Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations guys. خلاص. Badr and Ashraf and Anas, please contact me on LinkedIn, on Telegram, Facebook, any way يعني. I am available on all channels. خلاص, let me stop sharing. Okay. Thank you Mohib for this session, for this great session. Really, I enjoyed it today. Hope we can make a lot of sessions like this in the next week, inshallah. You are on muted. Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for joining, and it was my pleasure to conduct the first session for the community. But this is definitely not the last, so we will have a lot more, inshallah.
Inshallah, we'll have more inshallah next period. Thank you again. Thank you guys. شكرا لكم شباب جميعا و good night.
Thank you,
تصبحوا على
Ahmad.
خير.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you محب.
Thank you. Bye
السلام
bye.
عليكم. باي باي.